Welcome to Costco in Anchorage, Alaska. Let's go get shopping. Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. We are Aaron and Jessica Milnes. We are building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska, with the help of 3 of our children. Our second son, Caleb, our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt, along with our 3 dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and the newest addition, Roberto. Oh my goodness, we are headed to Costco, and I haven't been outside of my house as far as like in a vehicle in a couple of days. We have scraped the road because it started to melt, but I have to show you like how much snow we still have here. Look, we have dirt, we have ground, but still, look at the amount of snow. Look up here. Isn't that completely crazy? It is so nuts, but yeah, I just thought I would share. Now, let's head to Anchorage to Costco. I have big plans and I want to tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here for a second. I'm going to talk about food security, my pantry, and why we're doing the Costco shop that we're doing. If you look in the description box or you just jump ahead to where I'm at Costco, you will be able to just kind of skip over if you don't want to have some personal chit-chat time with me today. But what I have to say I thought was important. If it's not important to you, skip ahead, join me at Costco. So I personally try to walk a fine line between paying attention to everything that's going on in the news, being informed, understanding that things can go south at any point in time, but also living a life that is kind of free from those worries, if you will. But your head is buried in the sand if you don't look at the collapse of banks and think, oh, well, things could go terribly wrong. And then again, this could be the end of it. That was a fluke. Oh, well, too bad, so sad, right? Like, sort of like, nah, it didn't really affect me, but nothing else bad is going to come of it. And that, of course, is the hope and the prayer. And then the other side is like, well, wait a minute. What if it does all go terribly wrong? What can I do? My answer is nothing. None of us, if you're watching my YouTube channel, you are not in charge of the banking systems. You aren't even in charge of whether or not all of this goes south. You have nothing to do and no control over it whatsoever. And what has been weighing on my heart as I head out to Costco with my very specific list for a reason that I am sharing before we get there and do a little Costco shopping. And if you want to just see Costco shopping, skip ahead. Let's just jump right to Costco. But what's weighing on my heart is this same statement over and over and over, that I am not obviously going to share every decision that I make for my family. Why I don't share all of it is because what choices I make for my family in situations like this aren't going to apply to your family. My meaning behind that is say your neighbor looks at what's going on with the banking system and they decide, you know what, I'm gonna go withdraw from the bank 3 months worth of all my payments and then leave all my savings in there. Maybe they're financially in that situation where that's no big deal and that's what they feel led to do. What if you're in a situation where you're going, well, if it all collapses, there's nothing I can do anyway. I don't even have enough cash in the bank that I could go and pull some out and be, settled. We're all in different places in life, and it's important that each and every one of us realize that the only people we have to answer to for what we do are those within our home, those that we are responsible for. And in many cases, a lot of my viewers are only responsible for their one and only self. They either are single or widowed, or there is some reason that they live alone, and they're only responsible for they themselves. And they only have to answer to they themselves, whatever happens and whatever they did with that information. So, with all of that said, as far as food goes, that's a conversation we can actually have, and I would like to have it. So on the food front, what I'm going to Costco for, those of you that have followed me for any length of time know that I have a very full, very organized, well-stocked working pantry and long-term pantry. The thing with your pantries though is you're always eating. I'm always feeding my family. We're always eating. Therefore, what we need to really kind of focus on is filling in where we're missing gaps. So how do I do that personally? Me personally, I have a 12-week spreadsheet. The reason I don't really share this spreadsheet is it really would need to be individualized for your family. So an idea of what I do, and I've shared this before, is like on every Monday we're gonna do a soup. Well, I know 12 different soups. We eat 12 different soups in our family that are homemade, and we're not even talking beans. We're talking like potato soup and cream of whatever, or we're talking chilies and different things like that. And then I also have 12 different bean recipes that I can make from my stockpile, and say 12 different taco recipes, and so on. So what we do is we fill in that spreadsheet, and I have a 12-week meal plan, and in those 12 weeks we don't eat the same thing twice. So it actually works really well for my family, and your cooking style might not be as diverse as mine. You might make the same 5, 6, 7 recipes over and over and over. I know that a lot of minimal people really do kind of stick to that. Like they eat the exact same spaghetti every Friday, the exact same pizza on Monday. You know what I mean? And if that's your style, great. Your shopping is way less detailed than what mine would be. But however we do it, we can all build a list and have some food security. Wanted to talk about that really, really quickly. What is food security? Well, to me, it's having that well-stocked pantry. Having the ability to go into my pantry and make just about any meal that my family could ask for. Now, they're not going to ask for something that's like, oh, I found something new on Pinterest that isn't their style. They're going to say, hey, Mom, can you make this soup? Or Aaron's asked for meatloaf a couple of times in the last week. They're going to be very basic, specific things that they love and that we've made 100 times. You know what I mean? So that is food security. Food security is also being able to buy things at the lowest dollar amount and having it stocked up. For me personally, that's what I look at food security as, and having it stocked up in my pantry so that I can have these things when I need them. Another level of food security in our home that we have moved to Alaska and work diligently on is what can we produce, hunt, or fish ourselves. We produced our own chickens. We produce eggs with the hens that we have. We have baby chicks coming. Those have been ordered. Where can we fish? We're fishing year-round here in Alaska because we're ice fishing, and then we're river fishing. We ocean fished for the halibut. We are going to fish and fill the fish freezers with wild-caught fish. That's food security. We hope and pray and prepare and have purchased everything necessary to get moose this year. And if you would pray for me as well, that our family is able to bring home a couple of moose. And believe it or not, it would take more than one moose to feed my family of 5 plus the extras that we feed on a regular basis. It would take more than one moose to cover our red meat consumption over a year's time. The other option would be to get some cattle. We just do not have the right land. Aaron and I ranched in Colorado for years and years and years, and we ran 30 mama cows plus babies plus a couple of bulls. So you're talking at some point you have 65 plus cattle roaming around at any given time. We sold all of that out, and we're very particular in how our cattle were raised and the amount of land that each cow had to graze on and so on, and that isn't possible for us here in Alaska. And we're just not going to trap up a cow or a steer in a tiny pen and feed them out feedlot style. It just isn't something that we personally are comfortable with. However, if we don't get any moose, that has to become an option of what is the best way that we could secure red meat. So that's food security. In my opinion, in a nutshell, is what can we hunt, fish, or produce, or grow, garden ourselves. And then the other questions are, what can I stockpile, buy at the bottom dollar, and have in my pantry, so that when things get tough, I am in a good position to care not only for myself. Now hear me on this, not everyone financially or physically, mentally or emotionally, all that goes into this can do what I've been blessed to do, and that's why I think I have to take the blessing and do for others that I do for our own family. If God has blessed me with it, I really, really, really have to take seriously that I have to be prepared to do the same for others that I'm doing for my family. You know, no one comes to my house and leaves hungry. If you do, it's your own dang fault. So I gotta carry that mentality. So what are we getting at Costco today? And all that I've just said, let's pull it together. Okay, so how do I pull together everything that I said, right? So what I've done is I've taken my family's 12-week list and I've cut it off at the 6-week mark. Because if I were to go into Costco today, which it would probably be equal to what we're going to do, but I wouldn't be able to do, okay, here's my point. My point is, I cut it off at the 6-week mark and I made a list of everything that I need to make 6 weeks worth of meals for our family. In addition to what's already in our pantry, right? Shop your shelves, know what you have, what do you need to stock up on. I'm not looking at the canned goods and saying like, okay, what canned goods do I need to stock up on? With the exceptions of things that I just don't have enough canned goods to make each meal, and here's the kicker, twice. So if it's white chicken chili, I want to be able to make white chicken chili once in the next 6 weeks, but I also want to have the ingredients on my shelves in my freezer stocked up so that I can make it twice. A lot of these meals we're able to make freezer meals out of. So for instance, we love lasagna, so I'll make 2 lasagnas. One will eat, one will pop in the freezer, so that I have it as a backup meal if we run into the second half of the 12-week cycle and say things have gone south and I need that freezer meal in order to feed my family. I have it. I have it for a day where we go, uh-oh, right? You ever have an uh-oh day? Any reason I might need it, I've already made it twice. So with 1 day's worth of effort. So what we do is a little bit of combining all those ideologies, all those thoughts. Everyone kind of teaches different practices. personally utilize bits and pieces of all the different food storage prepping practices, or at least I think that I do, with the exception of, I don't know if you've ever seen me use a crock pot. I don't really do crock pot meals, and I don't really use my crock pot very often, but I use an Instant Pot. I use the wood cook stove in place of where you would use a crock pot, so you could easily utilize a lot of my recipes for things like that. Another tangent. So what we're doing today in a nutshell is we're not going to panic because we've worked really hard on building our pantry. What we are going to do is look at what is going on and say, how can I care best for my family over the next 6 to 12 weeks? What would I need to do to not go to the store again for at least 6 weeks? And what would that look like? And how can I make that happen? And then I take into consideration my budget. Your budget and my budget are not the same. We don't have the same job. We don't live in the same area. None of that is the same. So we take our budget. I take my budget, you take yours. And my budget is going to include some ham hocks and things along those lines, because my food meal list is going to include beans in some way, shape, or form at least once a week, because I would like to have a little extra money sitting and spend a little less on groceries, because I don't know what's coming down the pipe. And we like beans. This isn't torture, this isn't punishment for us to eat beans. And because I always am having beans in the home, my family isn't alarmed by that. They don't feel like the sky is falling, because we've already introduced beans into our diet since the children were babies. Their whole life they have been eating pots of beans, and it's never been treated as something that this was poor man food, or you're not riding the struggle bus in our house when you eat beans. Beans are a beautiful, delicious meal that our family absolutely loves. So that's what we're gonna go shop for. I hope you hear my heart. This is not a panic, run out and be a lunatic sort of thing. This is literally me talking to you and saying, we can make a game plan together. We're a team, and fill it out the best that we can and do it the very best that we can for our family. And we can look for alternate ways of what can I produce, what can I grow, what do I already have, and we're gonna do all that together as a team. And I hope that you continue to be a team with me. Now let's head out and do our shopping. I have a new Azure video from a haul, and I've been stocking up on their cleaning products, and I will show that to you in an upcoming video. But I did go ahead and just grab some of the blue Dawn dish soap at $12.49. I'm running low on a lot of Ziplocs, and right now they're $3.80 off of this pack, and so I'm going to grab one of those. Valid March 8th through April 2nd. Wyatt just took the second row or second roll of trash bags out today, and so the box is now empty, so I need to get some of these to put on the shelf. $18.99. We always get the unscented. That's because when we go fishing, a lot of times we'll take these unscented bags and throw all of that fish in there and then bring it home, and I obviously don't want chemicals on my fish that I need to process. So $18.99, 200 trash bags. I have 10 bell peppers on my list, but I know that they're cheaper at a different store. And here at Costco for 6, they're $9.99. That makes each bell pepper, $1.67 if you round up per pepper. And then they do have these super sweet ones that we bought last time, these really big ones. And these were lovely with breakfast and so on. $7.99. They are not on our list today, and we're gonna try and stick to it, but I do love those peppers. Avocados, you know, we do a ton of those. $5.29 because they're $1.50 off right now. And so I'm gonna get 2 bags of avocados. You can always smash and freeze them for later. And then of course we love them for fresh eating. Obviously these will not last for 6 weeks, but we do need to have some of them on stock. Tomatoes are on the list. I didn't like, I've shown you before, the other ones that are on the vine. They're a little bit cheaper, but there was so many bad ones last time. So I'm gonna get these for $7.99. That's $3.99 a pound is what tomatoes are right now. Onions are always on the list. $9.49. This is gonna be the cheapest per pound. So at 95 cents a pound, this is what we're going to get today. We are running really low on our homegrown potatoes. In fact, I should be out of them this week. And so for $11.99, I'm just gonna grab some of these Yukon Golds and make some $1.19 a pound. We go through garlic like crazy. $7.99 for 2 pounds. Tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and so I'm going to grab a few things for her birthday party that wouldn't normally be on the list, but while I'm here, I might as well. Maybe some grapes. They have a $8.99, $9.99. So green seedless grapes for 3 pounds, $2.99. So I can find some really pretty ones of these. Looks good. $8.99. We're going to do a 2 count of the cabbage. We love cabbage, and if it starts going south, I just feed it to the chickens. They love it as well. So $4.99 for 2 cabbages. Normally buy the whole broccoli, but for $5.99, I'm just gonna take some help from the store. That's $2.99 a pound for the broccoli florets. For Cody's birthday, it's kind of like a fondue charcuterie board type of thing. So for $7.99, we're gonna add some baby cucumbers to her list, as well as some mushrooms. I'm gonna go, they have 3 different ones. $9.99, $9.99. $5.99. I don't really think the white button mushrooms, but these organic baby Bella mushrooms. Anything that doesn't get ate, I can freeze up and use in other recipes. Okay, so we just tackled with Cody's birthday list, and then I have the regular shopping list. So we've tackled, we're not gonna get the sweet potatoes here because I don't need that quantity. The celery is already chopped, and it just doesn't last as long as like when it's still together on the original stock. So we'll get that at the regular grocery store, as well as the bell peppers. Now we've moved on to the meat. Here's going to be my biggest purchase of the day. I need 25 pounds of ground beef hamburger, and I think I'm going to go with the organic ground beef, just $6.25 a pound versus $5 a pound. And it's already individually wrapped to where I can just pop it in the freezer, and I don't have to do a bunch of like divide. I'll show you. So either I can divide out 25 pounds of this, which is 88%, or this 85% organic 3-pack for $25. So we're gonna go with this. And then the number 2 is like, I hit and miss have issues with the meat, and after coming off a Whole30 and eating really good organic food, I'm having a really hard time with that packaged hamburger, and that's probably just a me thing. That's not an everybody thing. So we're gonna do it simple. And even though it costs a little bit more, I think it's gonna be better for us in the long run. That right there is $150. Italian sausage, however, that's already pre-done, $14.99. That's $3 a pound or $2.99 a pound. Right here, and they're in 4 packs. I needed 15 pounds. 15 pounds of it. So let me do the math really quick and see what I can get away with on this, and maybe like lessen a little here and there. We'll figure it out. Okay, I need 4 of the normal size packs of like these kielbasa sausages, and I think I'll go with the Alaska Hot because we're gonna do red beans and rice with it. And this is an Alaska company, so $19.99, which is almost $7 a pound. Let's kill it. These are not on the list, but I do always give myself a little bit of room when shopping such a long, we're doing 6 weeks of food. So these are $4.50 off, which normally they're $16.99 here. They're over $20 at our local grocery store. We've talked about that before. So with the $4.50 off, they're $12.59 each. Aaron literally packed these for lunch today because we didn't have enough leftovers. So these are really good to keep a couple of those in the freezer, open their individual, like each package. So there's 3 packages in there. He can pop one out, and then we have backup for lunches and so on when we eat all of dinner. Well, this is a must. $25.99 for toilet paper. Okay, so far we're done with the meats and the produce. We're now gonna head into the dairy section. I'm in the aisle taking a deep breath because I have a tight budget, or at least set a tight budget for myself, and we are already at guess in the comment section, and I'll let you know in a minute where we were at already in this portion of the video. Here is the cart. Here we still have to tackle butter and cream and ricotta and milk and sour cream. Okay, and then a few other items. Let's see if we can get it done. Pleasant surprise, heavy cream has come down by $2. It's now $10.99. Half and half is a staple. Those of you who are not in the US and not accustomed to half and half, it's half cream and half milk. That's half and half. $5.29 for a half gallon. To be honest, out of pure laziness, we have been taking the gallons of milk out of the freezer for Wyatt and the family. I like to replace that. I like to keep a layer of milk frozen for emergencies or whatever. $10.39 for 2 gallons of milk. That makes them $5.19, $5.20 a gallon. So we will grab 4 gallons. Your guess is as good as mine. There is no label for the sour cream. I'll try to remember to either put it on here and look at my receipt. If not, we all guessed what sour cream was today, but it's for sure on the list. We eat a lot of it at our house. Butter is a staple for us and probably most of you watching. $11.89 for 4.1 pounds, which is $2.97 a pound. I like to split mine between salted and unsalted. I use them for different things. So here, someone wanted me to stop and actually point the price or show it. Butter. Corn is off limits on Whole30. So when we did a video where we came and we stocked up a whole freezer with vegetables, we didn't get any corn, but I use a lot of it in like white chicken, chili, those sort of things. So this organic white corn is $8.99, which is $1.76 a pound. I only need 1. This is the most cream cheese I've seen at Costco since I have moved here in 2021. They do have the 3-pound tubs. Then they have like these little individual ones. Then they have this off-brand. Then they have the Kirkland brand, which is gonna be 6 8-ounce for $7.99. And we're actually gonna go with that because they're individual, normal cream cheese slice packs. These are an absolute staple. $8.89 for the jars. They don't sell the canned ones here that I make green chili with, but they sell the jars. So we're gonna get 4 of these for the next 6 weeks. I go back and forth so often between making my own spaghetti sauce and buying it. This is the only brand that we can kind of handle the flavor of, kind of cooked with some sausage, and I'm just giving myself grace. I'm gonna pay $8.99 for 3 of them. I need 6 jars total for the next 6 weeks. It is Cody's birthday tomorrow, and I'm gonna hide these in the basement, and then Erin in the morning on the way to work is actually gonna take them to her. So we're gonna sneak around a little bit, but making sure she gets some flowers. 18 bucks, daughter's birthday, done. That is it. We are done at Costco today here in Anchorage. I'm gonna head home. I'll take you with me. I do have to finish getting some stuff for Cody's birthday that's not really part of the 6th week, and I'll let you know what we spent and close out the video. When I was walking out to my truck and getting loaded, I have a question for you. Where are you at and how do you do it? And this is kind of that question of, you know, getting everyone to kind of think where they're at with certain things. You shopped with me for 6 weeks of food, and we're talking like if the sky falls and I cannot buy any food over the next 6 weeks, banks are locked up, all of that were to happen. The worst case scenario, where would my family be? Well, I have enough with what we have at home and what we bought today that I could make 6 weeks worth of dinners twice. And yes, it would be nice in a perfect scenario to be able to get fresh jalapenos and some cilantro and some different things throughout the weeks as we go. But if worst case scenario were to happen and I couldn't grocery shop for at least 6 weeks, totaling 12 with what we have, my family would be perfectly fine. And we also would be able to eat some really good meals. Where are you at with everything? Are you worried about it at all? Are you not worried? If things did fall, how long would your family make it? And is that not something that ever crosses your mind, or is it something that weighs heavy? And how, with those of us that it weighs heavy on our mind, how can we be prepared so that our mind is light and it is free to concentrate and focus on other beautiful things like our daughter's birthday or family or things that are going on? And I'm just gonna tell you, I know I might be preaching to the choir on this. If you are prepared, if you're able to go in and just kind of round out a really long period of time of meals, even if you don't stick to it, but you're able to have all of that in your pantry, it really does cause a sense of peace. I know, at least for me, I am at peace where all of our stuff was at, and I was at peace coming in here today, knowing that I had the funds to do it, and then also knowing that if I couldn't do this today, I have enough food stocked up that no big deal, we're gonna make it either way. I would always, we always are creatures that want to go to that soft side. We want the easiest and simplest and most beautiful side of all things, and that isn't always the case for any of us. So with that said, kind of let me know in the comment section, where are you at with your food preps? What could you be doing different? What should you scale back on? Just be honest and let's lift each other up and encourage one another. If it all fell down today, are we gonna make it? Of course we are. Let's work together on it. Yay, I made it home. I am unloading the truck, and I was like, oh, should I set it all out on the table? No, you already shopped with me. You don't need to set it all out. The other thing is, like our deep freezes are in our basement, and so like all the sausage and hamburger and all of that goes down there. So I don't want to haul it all into the house, put it on the table for a video, and then haul it all to the basement because I am just a little bit tired, a little bit done. So I'm gonna grab all of this out of the truck. I do wish each and every one of you really, really well. Thank you for being here with me today. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, you'll get notifications. Thumbs up and comments help our channel to grow. Our gratitude for the day. Literally, the sun is shining, is warming up, the snow is starting to melt. It is just becoming so incredibly beautiful around here. So thank you for being with us. Our grand total was just over $700. Divide that out by what essentially is 12 weeks of follow-up food. We're talking just over $50 a week by buying it all in bulk at one time and having that stocked up. I've thought more and more and more as we have recorded this video, and that is just it. That is my piece of knowing that moving forward, at least the next 6 to 12 weeks, my family is going to be fed really, really well. I do hope that same prayer and blessing for you guys as well. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me today.